Hello everyone and welcome to iLand Technologies presentation where we'll be looking at what's new in Draytech for the rest of 2020. My name's Darren and I'm the Queensland Sales Rep at iLand Technology. Today I'll go over some exciting new products that have just been released or will be released in Australia in the coming months and early next year. There's a lot here and I'm going to be skipping on fairly quickly, so keep your finger over the spacebar to pause the video anytime to take a longer look at anything I have on screen, and you can use the arrow left key on your keyboard to skip back a few seconds to see something again. If you have any questions during the video, please comment in the chat box on the right hand side of your screen and stick around at the end for a 5-minute Q&A session. If you're watching this after the live premiere, please comment below or send an email to sales@draytech.com.au. So we have 5 new router model series, a new ceiling mounted wireless access point, a new switch series, and an update for the VIGA ACS central management system. Let's take a look. So let's start by looking at the router models that will be coming soon. First up, we have the VIGA 165, which is a VDSL modem router to replace the hugely popular VIGA 130. These should hopefully be arriving in the first quarter of 2021. It has support for 35B super vectoring, which is a VDSL technology enhancement that we're not quite sure if or when will become available in Australia, but the VIGA 165 can do it if or when it does. We also see 2 LAN ports instead of 1, making them a great little router for a small network or to use as a bridged modem to a more advanced router or firewall. Other than that, features remain much the same as the VIGA 130. Next up, we have the VIGA 2765 series to replace the 2762 series. These routers are ideal for home and small office networks, and like the 2762 series, they have a built-in VDSL modem, which can also do ADSL if you're still using that, and one of the LAN ports can also be configured as an Ethernet WAN port if you end up with an NBN connection type that needs one of those. We have 3 models in the series instead of 4, no more 802.11n model. We have a non-wireless model, an 802.11ac wireless model, which is backwards compatible with 11n or even 11g Wi-Fi devices if you're still using those, and an 802.11ac wireless model with built-in VoIP. These should be out late November if they're not already by the time this goes to air. Apart from no more 11n model, the main changes are more power and more speed. The 2765 series has 1.5 times faster NAT performance, 2.9 times faster IPsec VPN performance, and 2 times faster SSL VPN performance. On the outside, it looks pretty much the same as the 2762 series. We still have 2 USB ports and 4 LAN ports. LAN port 4 is a switchable port which can be configured as either LAN or WAN, and inside we still have 2 built-in VPN tunnels which can be IPsec, PPTP, L2TP over IPsec or SSL. Here's a quick comparison table. Features remain largely unchanged from the VIGA 2762 series, apart from a performance increase with NAT throughput and VPN performance. As you can see here, NAT throughput has increased to 600 megabits per second compared to 400 megabits per second in the older model. Also, VPN performance has increased and we now have 200 megabits per second throughput for IPsec VPN. One other change in the Wi-Fi models is a 400 megabits per second link rate in the 2.4 GHz band compared to 300 megabits per second on the 2762 series. You can centrally manage up to 2 VIGA switches and 2 VIGA APs from the VIGA 2765 console as well. The 2135 series should be out later this year if they're not already as well, and apart from an increase to 400 megabits per second from 300 on the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band, the specs remain largely unchanged from the 2133 series from what we know so far. We should have a non-wireless model and an 802.11ac wireless model. There may even be VoIP and possibly a fibre version available as well, but we're not sure at this stage when or even if those models will be released in Australia. The VIGA 2865 series takes things up a notch from the VIGA 2862 series. Like the 2765 series, we also get support for super vectoring on VDSL connections, should that become an option in Australia one day. These should also be available late November if they're not already as well. And we also get quite a jump in throughput and performance over the previous 2862 series, up to 1.6 times faster NAT, 3.5 times faster IPsec, and 2.9 times faster SSL VPN performance. And we also have hardware acceleration. More on that in a moment. Pictured above me here is the VIGA 2865 LAC model, which has a built-in LTE modem, which just takes a SIM to connect to LTE. Well, two actually. There's a second SIM slot which allows for failover to a secondary LTE connection should the first one go down. The two black antennas you see there are for the LTE connection. The VIGA 2862 series had 4 LAN ports, while the VIGA 2865 now has 5. Well, 6 actually, if you count the configurable LAN WAN port shown at number 3 here, assuming you're not using that as a WAN port. On the LTE models, we only get 1 USB port, but we have the built-in LTE modem, so we don't really need more than one. Here's a comparison table of the 5 models available. So we have the non-wireless 2865 and also an LTE version without Wi-Fi, and 3 802.11ac Wi-Fi models, one without VoIP, one with, and one with LTE. Here's a comparison table between the 2865, 2862 and the 2860 series. As you can see here, NAT throughput has increased to 800 megabits per second compared to 500 megabits per second in the older model. Also, VPN performance has increased, and we now have 300 megabits per second throughput for IPsec VPN. Hit the spacebar or pause if you'd like a longer look at that. And a comparison of the Wi-Fi and a couple of other features between the 2865 and the previous series. The VIGA 2927 series takes over from the VIGA 2926 series. Once again, we get a substantial increase in performance, up to 1.6 times faster NAT, 3.6 times faster IPsec, and 2.7 times faster SSL VPN performance. But it gets even better. Hardware acceleration improves the performance even more. Hardware acceleration, as I mentioned earlier, is also featured in the VIGA 2865 series. The hardware accelerator feature on both the VIGA 2927 and 2865 series improves NAT and IPsec performance without sacrificing hardware QoS. Typically, the router CPU handles all traffic and sessions, and the total performance is up to 800 megabits per second with either single or dual WAN. The hardware accelerator in the 2927 series can process up to 8,000 NAT and routing connections, delivering up to 940 megabits per second with a single WAN and up to 1.8 gigabits per second combined throughput with dual WAN. The VIGA 2865 series can reach up to 940 megabits per second with the Ethernet WAN and up to 1.3 gigabits per second combined throughput with both Ethernet and DSL WAN. The accelerator also includes hardware QoS. With App QoS, business-critical apps can be prioritized with a single click. Hardware IPsec can accelerate up to 16 IPsec tunnels and increase performance from up to 290 megabits per second to up to 800 megabits per second, which is 2.8 times faster. The first 16 tunnels established are automatically accelerated. If any of the 16 tunnels is disconnected, another one will drop in to take its place, keeping the total to 16 tunnels. Here's some testing we did, first without hardware acceleration enabled. Okay, we've averaged out at 615 megabits per second. This number will vary up and down depending on how good your internet connection is. Now we'll go to hardware acceleration in the menu and enable it on NAT, TCP and UDP. Okay, now let's try that again. Okay, 697 megabits per second, so it definitely works. That's an extra 82 megabits per second, which is a bit over a 13% increase. The VIGA 2927 series is also promoted as an edge router for SD-WAN. SD-WAN stands for Software Developed Wide Area Network and allows specified apps to be sent through the best quality interface available at the time. Note there that it requires the latest VIGA ACS3 central management system to do its thing best. For more detail about the VIGA 2927 series SD-WAN features, I'll include a link in the description below to our VIGA 2927 series product overview video. The SD-WAN features are discussed around the 3.5 minute mark. Once again, we get 5 LAN ports instead of 4 that we had in the previous VIGA 2926 series, and the secondary WAN port shown at number 2 here can also be configured as another LAN port. We have 2 USB ports on the front. On the LTE models though, there's just 1. Here's a comparison table of the 5 models available. Just like the 2865 series, we have the non-wireless VIGA 2927 and also an LTE version without Wi-Fi, and 3 802.11ac Wi-Fi models. One without VoIP, one with, and one with LTE. The VoIP model will be a little delayed. It might possibly get here sometime in the first or second quarters of 2021, but the others are available now. Here's a comparison between the VIGA 2927, 2926 and 2925 series. As you can see, the main changes are NAT throughput has increased to 800 megabits per second from 500 megabits per second in the 2926 series, and IPsec throughput is now up to 290 megabits per second from 80 megabits per second. Hit pause or the spacebar now if you'd like to take a longer look. And a comparison of the Wi-Fi and some other features between the old and new models. The main thing here is the 802.11n link rate going up to 400 megabits per second from 300 megabits per second. Okay, a new wireless access point. The VIGA AP960C should be the first 802.11ax Wi-Fi product from Dratec to hit our shores, which should hopefully be early 2021. What's 802.11ax, you might ask? Well, without trying to explain it in too much detail, yes, it is a bit faster, but it's not that much faster than 802.11ac. Certainly not the same increase that we got from 11G to 11N or 11N to 11AC. Its main advantage is that it takes MU-MIMO technology a step further by applying it to both upload and download links, along with some brand new technology called OFDMA to allow more Wi-Fi devices to transfer data simultaneously for greater bandwidth overall. For more detail about 802.11ax, give it a quick Google. It's also known as Wi-Fi 6, and there's a version in the pipeline called Wi-Fi 6E, which is going to offer Wi-Fi in the 6 GHz spectrum. Up until now, we've only had Wi-Fi in the 2.4 and 5 GHz spectrums. We should also see 802.11ax versions of most of the router series as well, sometime in 2021, but those are still in the development stage at the moment, so we're not sure when they might go into production. It's ceiling mountable with a nice sleek design to be no more obtrusive than a smoke alarm. It has wireless mesh capability, so you can link a bunch of them together for coverage over a large area. Now, you will need wireless client devices that also support 802.11ax to take full advantage of it, but in the meantime, 802.11ax is also backwards compatible with existing 802.11ac and 802.11n Wi-Fi. Part of the 802.11ax advantage I mentioned comes about thanks to a technology called OFDMA. That's Orthogonal Frequency Division Multiple Access. Comparing it to the current OFDM technology, where each frame is transmitted across the entire channel width, OFDMA basically splits each Wi-Fi channel into tiny chunks, allowing multiple devices to transmit and receive simultaneously on the same channel. So basically, more devices will get more bandwidth simultaneously for a faster Wi-Fi network overall. There's a new Wi-Fi encryption method called WPA3 available as well, along with features like airtime fairness and band steering that we've come to expect in Dratec APs and Wi-Fi routers. It supports AP mode, range extender and mesh nodes. And it can be managed as part of a mesh or from a VIGA router console, or using the free VIGA Connect application or with VIGA ACS2 central management application. Here's a handy comparison table of Dratec APs. Hit pause if you'd like a longer look. Here's a second page showing other features. Okay, time for a couple of new switches. Introducing the 2540X series. These are available now, and we should have an overview video out very soon. Right away, we see 48 gigabit Ethernet ports and 6 SFP slots. The X on the end of the name means that those 6 SFP slots are actually 10 gigabit SFP plus slots. SFP slots, of course, can work with either optic fiber modules or copper DAC cables, and Dratec do have DAC cables available now which will support 10 gigabit connections. Two models are featured, the G2540X without PoE and the P2540X with PoE, with a budget of 400 watts over all 48 Ethernet ports. They have Layer 2 Plus management features, which includes a couple of Layer 3 capabilities as well as Layer 2. Also featured on the PoE model is a feature called PoE Device Health Check, which pings connected PoE devices and power cycles them if they fail to respond, and/or sends an email alert to someone so they can investigate. They have DHCP server capability as well as VLAN routing. The diagram here demonstrates it can route VLANs from the router to other network switches controlling different network segments. Bind IP to MAC is featured as part of the DHCP server capabilities. ONVIF Open Network Video Interface Forum is featured, which allows viewing camera footage from within the switch's interface. Part of ONVIF is the ability to keep a snapshot of the last thing a camera saw before it stopped responding and send it to a system administrator. IP conflict detection and prevention will automatically shut down a port if a device with a conflicting IP address is detected on it, and/or it can send an alert to a system administrator. And we have central management from a VIGA router console, or with VIGA Connect or VIGA ACS2. And speaking of ACS2, there's a new version called VIGA ACS3 coming soon. ACS stands for Auto Configuration Server and is Dratek's remote management tool for Dratek devices. It's a great tool for IT professionals to monitor and maintain multiple networks remotely. From what we've seen of ACS3 so far, it remains largely the same, with all of the monitoring and drag and drop VPN creation features and so on that we have with ACS2, with just some additions like the SD-WAN feature I mentioned earlier for the VIGA 2927 series. Well, so far anyway. We expect other models will be added in due course. Here's some highlights of some of the improvements. So there's a bit more than just the addition of SD-WAN. The dashboard view is much improved compared to ACS2. Here's a closer view of the dashboard. Here's the SD-WAN view showing some active WAN and VoIP connections. So the SD-WAN view basically shows us components and topology, and we can do some application optimization and monitoring. In the device view, we can get detailed information about devices and statistics for each device that we're monitoring. Okay, that's about it for now, but please stay tuned. We'll be answering any questions in the live chat on the right of your screen for the next 5 minutes. For more information about Dratek products, please check out our website at www.dratek.com.au or send us an email to sales@dratek.com.au or give us a call on 02 9838 8899. Please like and subscribe below, and if you'd like a notification of new Premiere videos we're about to launch or anytime we put up a new video, please give the bell a click too. Thanks and bye for now.